Okay, so first of all we want to make the cat move in the square pattern. So the way we can do this is, first of all, we have to go to events and pick this first block that says when the green flag is clicked. This means that whatever blocks we put underneath here are going to be executed in a serial way whenever we press this green flag button. So we need to go to motion and scroll down until we find the block that says point in direction, and it has a default value of 90. This value here is in degrees, so a circle has 360 degrees. So if you divide that, you can see here that 90 degrees is means that we are turning right. So we use this block here to turn right, then we move 10 steps, and remember these blocks are going to be executed in series, and then we want to wait 1 second. So as soon as these two blocks are executed, then we're going to wait 1 second before executing the rest of the blocks. So maybe change this value to 100 because we want to make longer steps. So let's see what happens if we execute this program. Okay, so we can see that the cat points to this direction and it moves 100 steps. Perfect. So we can now right click this first block and click duplicate, and what happens is all the blocks under the one that we selected are going to be duplicated and placed on our cursor. So now we can go ahead and put them under here, and now we can change we can change 90 to 180. So 180 is this value right here. So first of all, it's going to point in this direction, move 10 steps, wait 1 second, and then turn right again, move 100 steps, and then wait 1 more second. So if we execute this, let's see what happens. Okay, so the cat moves 100 steps in this direction, and then it turns right again and moves 100 steps in this direction. Okay, so let's do this again. Duplicate these blocks again. Remember, I right clicked this block, so that means that all of the above blocks are going to be placed on our cursor. So now let's do this again. Move to minus 90 degrees and then repeat the same action. And actually, let me just duplicate it one more time and just make a full circle. So let's place the cat here, and let's set the, actually we don't need to set anything. So press the green flag and we can see that the cat now moves in a square pattern. Okay. And if we actually want to make the cat look to the right when the program finishes, we can add another point in direction 90 at the end of the program, so it looks like this. Okay. Perfect. So let's talk about more how the degrees are calculated. So this here represents the full circle of 360 degrees. So here is 0 degrees, as you can see, and if we divide this by 4, if we divide 360 by 4, you can see that 90 here plus 90 plus 90 plus 90, and we make a full circle. Okay, let's reset that to 90. So let's actually use an extension called pen. This extension is used to trace our steps, so the cat will leave a line behind it. So we have to go on the top left, click this button, and as you can see, the pen extension is the second one on the list. So click on that, and as you can see right here, a new category has been added called pen. Okay, so the way pen works is if we select this block pen down, we start making the line. So if I set the pen down and then move 10 steps, I'm going to draw my path as I'm moving these 10 steps. So let's actually, you can put it right here if you want, and then as you can see, we drew the full square, okay, as we moved through these points. If we want to clear the square or whatever else we have marked on our canvas, we can add an erase all block. Actually, I'm going to use the wait block here. I'm going to wait 3 seconds at the end before erasing it. So let me show you how this would look. So we draw the square, and then after 3 seconds the square is erased. What you can do as an exercise is you can draw various shapes. So you can calculate the various degrees that you need to change, and add even more steps if you want to draw a shape with more sides. So if you calculate the degrees and the steps, you should be able to draw any shape that you like using the pen extension. Okay, so you might be wondering, is there a way to make this more efficient? So as you can see, these are repeated many times, again and again. Is there a way to make the program have less blocks and still do the same job? So the answer is yes. And the way we can do this is if we go to control, there are 3 types of loops. It's the repeat, the forever loop, and the repeat until. So these 3 loops have one thing in common. They repeat a certain amount of times the blocks that are inside of them. And the way that we know how many times to repeat it is by looking at this parameter here. So the first block is very simple, repeat and then a number. So if I so this number shows the amount of times that we repeat the blocks inside. So if it's 10, then these blocks will be repeated 10 times. If it's 100, these blocks are going to be repeated 100 times. Pretty simple. The forever loop makes the blocks inside of the loop repeat as long as the program is still running. So there's no way to stop this unless you use this block here, stop all or stop this script, because this block just stops whatever is happening. But there is no other way to exit this loop. And the repeat until has a little gap here, and the gap here has pointy ends. That means that inside here we can put a Boolean. So what a Boolean is this type of block. So this block can be either true or false. So if I put here the number 50, it's going to ask itself, is 50 equal to 50? The answer is yes, and so if I click this block, you can see the value is true. If I say, okay, is 1 equal to 50? And the answer is no. So this block will be false. So if I put a Boolean here that changes value over time, it can repeat it until this becomes false. So it can start as something true. For example, it can start as 50 equals 50, and then after some repetitions, this value might be like 49, let's say. So this should be false now, and then we exit the loop. All of these loops are really useful in most programs. They can make this program really efficient. So let's use one of those now. Okay, so let's go to events again. We can leave this program aside for now. Pick another one of these blocks when the green flag is clicked. Go to control, repeat 10. Now let's go again to the extension tab and click here on this extension called text to speech. So if we add this extension here, you can see it adds 3 new blocks. And this block just speaks this word, this word right here. So repeat 10 times the speak hello block. And we can also add, wait 1 second, and because I don't want this to repeat too many times, I'm just going to repeat it for 3 times. So let's see what happens now.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Okay, so it says hello 3 times. It repeats this 3 times. Okay, so now let's try to use the repeat until block. Okay, so in order to use this block in the right way, we need a variable. So what a variable is this here block that is already here by default. We can also make new variables, but that doesn't matter right now. So a variable can hold a value. So this here block can be 0, it can be 100, it can be whatever you want it to. Okay, so if we if we store a value on this variable and we change it over time, we can actually use this information to repeat a certain amount of times this loop right here. So first of all, we want to set our variable to 0 by using this block, which is under variables. Again, go to this text to speech new category that we just added, add the speak hello block, also add the wait 1 second block, and now we have to use again a Boolean value right here. So go to operators, pick this block that says blank equals 50, the one that was used in the example before, and make sure you put it in here in this parameter value right here. So we can actually, instead of a number here, we can use this block, my variable. Okay, so it looks like this. Repeat until my variable equals 50. Now we can change that to 3, let's say. And now we have to increment the variable. So if we just let it run like this, repeat until my variable equals 3. At the start of the program, our variable is equal to 0 because we set it that way over here. So what's going to happen is it's going to repeat forever because the value never changes. It will always stay.
Hello.
It will always stay 0 like this. So what we need to do is change my variable by 1. So every time this loop runs, it's going to take this variable and add 1 to it. So at the start it is equal to 0. After 1 repetition it's equal to 1. After 2 repetition it's equal to 2, and so on. So if we let this program run now, you can see that it says hello just 3 times and it doesn't run forever.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Okay. Okay. We can get rid of this
Hello.
now, or just remove the speak block because we don't want it to say anything anymore. Now let's go back to our original series of blocks here. Remember, this is what makes the cat draw the shape and move around the screen. So we can essentially remove all of this, and now we can just use one loop and repeat it 4 times. So if you can see here, we do this action 4 times. So we point in this direction, we move and we wait, and we do this 4 times in total. Okay, perfect. So now go to control, repeat 4 times. We use this block because we know exactly how many times we want to repeat it. If we didn't know this, then we could use a block like repeat until or a forever loop. Okay, so go to motion. Now we use a little different block. It's called turn 15 degrees. So for this block, we set a specific amount of degrees to point towards. But for this block, we take the pre-existing value and we add 15 degrees or 90 degrees or 10 degrees or whatever we want. And because we are repeating this, this block works better in this case. So we turn 90 degrees. Actually, yeah, okay, so we turn 90 degrees, then we move 100 steps, and then we wait 1 second. So let's see. Actually, in order for this to work better, it's easier if we just do this. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me just erase everything. Okay, now let's try it. Okay, so we move 100 steps. So we go from this position to this position. Then we turn 90 degrees. So we start pointing towards the bottom. We wait 1 second and then this repeats again. So we move 100 steps again, then we turn, wait 1 second, and then we repeat. So again, here we turn and we wait, and just one more time. So this is repeated 4 times, and it saves us all the space of the previous program. Okay, now let's see how we can use the stop block to get out of loops. So we can delete this block here, and now we can use a forever loop. Remember, the forever loop can only be stopped by using this block, stop all. So we're going to have to use a new type of block called the if statement. So the if statement checks if whatever Boolean value, you can see here that this has pointy ends, so that must mean that here goes a Boolean value. So if this Boolean value is true, then all the blocks here are executed. Otherwise, we just ignore all the blocks that are in here. So go again to operators and do the same thing, and go to variables and add the variable here, just like we did with the repeat until block. And we can say if my variable equals 3, we can stop this script. Okay, this script means that whatever the cat is doing will be stopped. If we have more sprites, like let's say we had we had another sprite right here, this sprite would continue doing its job. It wouldn't stop this sprite's job. If we set this to stop all, then all the other sprites in this program would stop whatever they were doing. Okay, so let's go to text to speech again, get this hello block. We can put this under the if statement, and now continue as we did last time. So wait 1 second and then change my variable by 1. So let's try to read this block. So we start a forever loop, a loop that never ends, and then we check if my variable equals to 3, and if this is true, we stop this script. If this is not true, we act as if this if statement doesn't even exist. After we check, we speak hello, we wait 1 second, and then we change the variable by 1. So we make it from 0 to 1, and then 2, and then 3. So let's see what happens.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Okay, so we can see that it repeats it 3 times, just as it should. So now let's use a more advanced version of the if block. So let me just remove the speak block from here so it doesn't bother us. Now we can delete this block right here. Actually, no, that's not what I wanted to do. We can delete these blocks right here. So let's again try to write this in a different way using the if block. So go to control, if, then else. So what this does is, if this is false, instead of ignoring the if statement, it will execute all the blocks that are in this else part. So that means that if this condition is true, this Boolean value is true, it will execute just these blocks, and if it's not true, it will execute just these blocks. There is no way that both of these parts are going to be executed. Just one of them, at least in one repetition. So just put this block right here. Now we can use, let me find it. Okay, so now go to sensing, to the sensing category, and find the block that says ask. Okay, so put this on top and type ask which direction. So what this is going to do is going to ask a question, and whatever answer we give it, it's going to save it in this block here that says ask. So let's go into operators, pick this equal sign block and put it in the if statement. Go back to sensing, pick the answer block that's underneath the ask block that we just added, and put it here on the first value. So if answer equals to right, then we want to go to motion and turn 90 degrees to the right. If this is not true, so if our answer is not equal right, then we need to turn left, and it's not really clear, but you can see that this is this means turn right, this means turn left. So turn left 90 degrees. After that we can move let's say 100 steps and wait 1 second at the end. Okay, so let's go again. At first we ask which direction, then we put the pen down, and then we repeat this block 4 times. So we ask if this the answer to this question is right, and then if it is right, we turn right 90 degrees. If it's not right, we turn left 90 degrees. Okay, then we move 100 steps, and then we wait 1 second. So let's try. So you can see that it asks which direction, and if I type right and press the check mark, it turns right. Okay. Now if I type anything else other than right, let's say I type left, you can see that the cat goes left, so it follows the other direction to draw the shape. Now this doesn't work for just left, it works for anything other than right. So if I type anything other than right, it's going to go left. Okay, so what we can do now, let's delete this, we won't be needing it anymore. So what we can do now is delete this ask part and this here part. We can also delete anything other than move and wait. So now let's see how we can use our keys, our keyboard keys, to tell the cat which way it has to go. So go to Control, and now add two, excuse me, just add two if blocks here. Okay, so now go to Sensing, and there is a Boolean value here that says key and then says space pressed, and you can change this to any key you want. So we can change this to R for right. Let me find R. Okay, and put this here, and now we can use L for left. So now let's say if we press the right, the R key, then we move right 90 degrees. If we press the left key, we move left 90 degrees. Okay, and then we move 100 steps, and then wait 1 second. So you can see that actually, let me just can I? Okay, so I remove these blocks just to make the program simpler. Actually, let's add the wait 1 second, and instead of repeat 4 times, because this is going to go really fast, we can just replace this with a forever loop. Okay, actually we can't put anything under the forever loop. So now, as you can see, if I press R, actually I think I can remove this block. If I press R, the cat actually if I hold it down, the cat spins in the right direction. If I hold L, the cat spins towards the left direction, which is actually really fun. Okay, now for the last part of this program, let's delete everything other than the forever loop. Now we can actually go here and rename my variable to random, because we're going to do the a random part now. So let's set this variable random at the end of the forever loop to a random number. And how do we do this? By going to operators and using this block that says pick random 20 to 30, and you can use any numbers here and it will pick a random value between these two numbers. So set the random value to a random number between 20 and 30, and now wait 1 second. Now go to text to speech, no, actually go to looks and say the second block that says hey, say, and now you can go to operators, pick this plus sign block, and do random plus 10. So it's going to say, actually, just to make it simpler, just say random. Okay, so let's see what happens. So every 1 second, it says a random number between 20 and 30. 22, 30, 23, 26, 23 again, 30, and so on. Okay, so this was the lesson for today. There were more exercises that you can do. For example, you could try to draw different shapes other than the square. You could try to make more complicated programs using the same blocks or different blocks. Try to experiment with Scratch and whatever you learned today. Thank you.